Hello, today I'm going to be talking about my experience overall in this course. I would say, first of all, that it was a good experience. I liked it, I enjoyed it. I think that the activities were good and appropriate and suitable for the competencies we had to develop. So, to start, we have what is my experience of reading a book throughout the semester and learning the language through it, through literature. I enjoyed it because it was a digestible way to read a book for people that don't like to read much. I'm not one of those people. I like to read a lot, but still, with all of the activities that I have to do in my daily lives, I think that reading one chapter per week, since there were not many chapters in the book Animal Farm, it was a good way. And also, I liked that the words that I didn't understood, I could infer the meaning through the context, like how it was used in the sentence, or if not, I could just translate them, and that would amplify my vocabulary, which is always very useful. So even though if you're not a big fan of reading, I would say that it is a good way to finish a book. And also all of the things that I learned about it, how the activities we did, helped me develop further my point of views on political stuff. It was good. uh, Moving on, what role should literature or text should play in the teaching of the English language? I always believe that authentic materials and any kind of text we learn in this course, that text is not just a book or a piece of paper with words, it can be also images, songs, poems, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, even a picture, I didn't know that before. But they are very, very important because they show you how the language is used in real life in an authentic way, and they are very important. It is important to know how to select them for students to engage with them, resonate with them. And for me, they are very important. They play a big role, as they don't just teach, as I think you shouldn't just teach the language in a isolated way, just like sentences and vocabulary over here, but never really in context or following a theme. So for me, they are very important. My experience in the teaching, I would say that I did a good job, not to brag, but selecting the materials and stuff, and also developing the materials that we would need uh, to see if students got the grasp or understood. But what shocked me is that, well, it didn't shock me. It's obvious, but not everyone has the same level. Even though the people that are in the same level, they are not. Not everyone understands the same. Not everyone can produce the same. So I was a little bit nervous. It wasn't my first time teaching, but it was my first time teaching, like based on a book, but based on a text. And this would just this is going to make me stronger for future classes that I have to teach, and how I implement the material. And it wasn't a bad experience overall, but there's always room for improvement. Now, what are 3 things that I consider to be my strengths that I take from this course, and 3 things that I think I can still improve? Are, I leave this course having pedagogical content and technological knowledge on how to design activities based on a text, which is like the most important thing over here, obviously. But throughout this course, I learned a lot of ways, strategies, activities, exercises I can do for students to understand a text better in a simpler way. Uh, and using the correct tool, which is really important in these times that everyone is technological. Also, I like that I know now how to modify a text but still have the main idea, because sometimes you want to talk about something but perhaps you don't have enough time to teach, to have students reading a whole book in a week. So you can always adapt your material to get that result. Furthermore, what I have to still improve is select materials that engage my students. I mean, here I refer to that I get carried away with things that I like personally, and I plan to improve this by asking them, of course, about their interests or having a more neutral notion, a point of view, or something that is going to be useful for everyone. And I'm not saying that what I'm choosing is just because I like it and it's not going to be useful for them, but perhaps not just use what I want, and it's still going to be useful for them. But yes, the main idea here is to select materials that perhaps I don't even know, so I can learn a new thing as well that will have a positive impact for everyone, and not just choose a piece of literature that I like, that I'm so familiar with, because there is a lot of materials in the world. In addition, I would like to develop further activities that will help my students generate beliefs beyond what they just read. This way, students can learn more than reading skills and soft skills, but they can see the importance of literature in their daily lives, as well as on how literature reflects life itself, and how they can learn the language through it. So they just don't see it as an assignment or something that they have to do, but perhaps that will interest them, because through text, what I hope to do and what I did in this course, reading Animal Farm, was reflect on what I thought about what I just read. It wasn't just about get the gist, get the detail. So develop further activities, further that will make my students think, not just about the language, about the new vocabulary that they learned, but what they think, how it perhaps they can relate to them, if it's something that, if it's a feeling that they can understand. That is something that I would like to work on, so it's not just a boring text-based lesson. Those are my insights about this course at this moment. Overall, it was a really good experience that enriched my development in the BA, and it's going to help me also in my daily life and professional life in the future.